All right, I'm in Bogota. I have no idea where I am, but I am here. Beautiful church in the background, kind of just walking around. I'm having to be very careful where I film a lot of the time because some of this city is dangerous and they have a lot of issues with theft and stealing and a whole bunch of things. So I'm not able to give you guys the full, I just almost got attacked by a police dog. I am not able to give you the full view of what is happening around here. However, I am going to do my best. A lot of it is people are trying to steal phones. Like I have to be careful around the road. Like I'm walking through a road right now. Someone could come by on my motorcycle and just steal it. So I'm actually gonna get off and I will talk to you in a second. So I am not the biggest fan of cities. I prefer more rural areas to travel to. However, I'm gonna be as, I guess, what's the word for it? I'm gonna be as neutral as I can on the grading. I think it'd be fun if I started making videos where I gave you a scale, 1 out of 10 of what I think and how important it is to visit the area. So I'll show you around a little bit during my time here in Bogota, but keep a lookout for that score at the end. So the area that I'm walking through right now is called La Kendalia. It's pretty walkable. It's nice. A lot of the buildings are different colors. Oh, I almost ate it. Wow, I'm having one today. So it's pretty well colored, pretty walkable. The only issue, and it's not even an issue, is that most of the streets are at a heavy incline. So anytime you leave your house, it's kind of like you're hiking. I don't mind it. Talking and recording is a bit difficult, but otherwise it's not so bad. But yeah, it's pretty nice, but it's hot. So I'm in my temporary home here, the Airbnb. It is a very beautiful home. Apparently this is a very traditional house. I'm gonna do my best to show you around as I can, but there are lots of stairs. There's 3 floors. This is kind of the main living room area. This is a desk / work area, tons of books. There's a balcony out here. It's an enclosed balcony with a hammock. So you can kind of sit out here. There are other places across the way that can see right in. There's no curtains. Not a huge deal though. Go up to the top level. The bottom level was just a kitchen, a bathroom. It was very simple, bare bones. Each floor is about the exact same size. So this is the bedroom. There's the bed. You can't see it super well, but out there is Bogota. You can oversee the city, especially at night. I'll try to get a shot of that for you. Otherwise, the bathroom, got like a stone sink. The craziest bathtub I've ever seen with a shower. So this is where I'm staying right now. It's pretty nice. And oh yeah, one more balcony with a rocking chair, a rocking horse. Kind of a great place to see or sit, and then someone else's home, which I can see straight into as well. So I keep this guy closed. But yeah, that's the house in Bogota. I probably look awful I just got back from walking around outside. So yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of rest. Over the course of the next few days, I'll add more to this and you'll get to see everything. All right, so right now I am in the ancient Candelaria area, Candelaria Antigua, and basically this is a main strip where a lot of people do a lot of their shopping. I've been here a few times. It hasn't been, usually there's a lot more people, so right now is a really good time to record a little bit. There are dangers with people snatching phones, so I've been really careful about where I choose to pull out my phone and record, but I'll try to get a couple quick videos of around here and a couple of the other things that I'm doing today. And I am at the end of the shopping road, and I call this the Plaza of Pigeons, but there's tons of just pigeons and people everywhere that all hang out. Actually, a couple days ago, they had a huge concert right here, and they built an entire stage. They took it down in a day. I could hear it from where I'm staying, just like the sound kind of booming over the sound of the city. It was really, really cool. I don't think I could make this video without it having at least one little portion of Bogota city, which is behind me here. This entire city stretches out from where I am right now is Mondstadt, It is a church on the top of a mountain. I had to take a cable car to get up here. Honestly, it's a really beautiful view. I'm gonna show you the other side too, because it's kind of like I'm at the top of the mountain, so there's stuff on either side. So this is Bogota behind me. Right behind me is the church, and it's a church for the Black Madonna, which is really interesting. We're hosting a retreat soon about the Black Madonna, so it's really cool to find her here. She's not a very popular figure to find. And behind me is the other side of the Mondstadt mountain. So it's really beautiful here, but I will catch you back in Peru for the final thoughts and ratings of Colombia. I'll see you there. I am back in Peru. I've been back for a few days now, and yeah, I'm really excited about this one. So the city that you saw, at least a very small portion of it that you saw, was Bogota, Colombia. It was a good visit, but I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna break down what I believe a few different categories are rated and kind of give you an idea of my thoughts. Now, I want to put a disclaimer here. All of these thoughts of what I think about Bogota, Colombia are my own. So if you live in Bogota, Colombia, or you really like Bogota, Colombia, and you feel like I didn't do it justice, that sucks for you, because these are my opinions. So if you make a list and it's your list, put it as high as you want or as low as you want. This is mine, so yeah, tough Skittles if you don't like it, but here we go. All right, I have my scroll here with all of my different ratings on it. Not that I'm going to let you see it. So I can go point by point of each thing that I think is important to rate a city by, and then an overall. So first and foremost, we have transportation, getting around town. So with transportation, I rated a 6 out of 10, and here's why. So as far as the taxis, there's tons of them. You can find them everywhere. There is meters in most of the taxis, and if there's not, you shouldn't ride in it. And it tells you tick by tick how much it costs as you're going. So you don't have to barter the taxi beforehand. You should be able to pay the flat rate of whatever it costs to get where you're going. So it made it really easy. There are some public transportation. I found it a little difficult to get in the groove of it. That's why I gave it a 6 out of 10 and not like an 8 or 9 out of 10. For example, in New York City, it's very clear where the bus stops and the subway stations are. Although it has its issues, it's very easy to get in. I would give New York probably a 10 out of 10 on the transport scale as far as using public transportation. So that is transportation. Next up, I've got food. Now this one's going to be a little controversial because everything that I heard about the yummy food in Colombia is that it was good. That is false. I gave it a 2 out of 10. I tried street food. I went to restaurants of low, middle, and high dining locations. I went to different places around the city. Every place that I ate, with the exception of one, was awful. The food was horrible. Like, not even... I'm a cook, so I'm a little bit harsh on my food verdicts. I don't think Colombia is worth traveling to for food at all. I've heard better things about other cities. I should stick to saying I don't think Bogota is worth it to travel for food, but Bogota, it was awful. Sightseeing. This one's got a huge asterisk on it. However, I gave it a 7 out of 10. So, huge asterisk is, well, I guess I should tell you, there's tons of graffiti. It's very beautiful. The city is filled with art. There are plenty of small like alleyways you can walk down that are cobblestone with art on either side. It's absolutely beautiful. A little sketchy, but beautiful. And there is also some of their sightseeing and trails are safe to go sometimes, but when you do go, they're actually very beautiful. The reason I put the asterisk is, first of all, because of the safety. It depends on when you're going. That my number might be higher or lower depending on crime rate. But the next thing, the reason the asterisk, a lot of the places to visit were very based around Catholicism and Christianity. So if you are not a Christian, this number might be very much so low. Wow. Hurt. Okay. But I can enjoy a church and not be Christian. So I enjoyed going and looking and seeing the beauty and all that stuff. So sightseeing, I gave a 7 out of 10. Asterisk, I just lost my... I'll be Alright, I'm back with it. I found it. Alright, so next up, I hesitate to go into this one so confidently. However, I gotta say it. People, 1 out of 10. Also an asterisk there. So there's a few reasons why I give the people 1 out of 10. First of all, I speak Spanish pretty well, and when I travel, I try to stick to words that I know extremely well to speed up conversation with people so they're not uncomfortable, especially in cities. Bogota, the people were not accommodating, they were not helpful, they were very rude and mean and very dismissive. I found the conversations with them did not go well, they were not helpful, they didn't seem to want me there, which is fine, it's your city. I'm not speaking of the people as people who live there. I'm speaking at it from the perspective of a traveler. I've been to countries where they're very helpful to travelers and want to be a part of your experience and want to help you and, you know, offer different things as far as tourism goes. I didn't find the Bogotinians, I didn't find them to be that way. The asterisk, though, is because there's a very big population of other travelers, which was pretty cool. If you stick around other travelers and travel groups, that number might be higher for you. And secondly, there's also a very big population of BIPOC and LGBTQ plus community there, or I think they would call it LGBTQX. Those people I found to be very nice and very accommodating, very helpful. Now, it's more so the indigenous Bogotinians and the people who are like born and raised in Bogota, and some of the travelers who didn't necessarily want me there I found weren't super nice. They have their right to be. I'm just saying I gave the people 1 out of 10 from the traveler's perspective. I didn't have the best experiences with safety. So safety of Bogota, I gave it a 2 out of 10. Maybe 2 or 3. I was kind of bouncing back and forth between the two. And the reason that I was bouncing back and forth is because, first of all, I'm a pretty brazen traveler. I'll go to places that I necessarily probably shouldn't in terms of safety. As long as I'm wanted there, I will most likely go there. However, there was a very strict 7:30, 8 p.m. curfew when we had our Airbnb. They didn't enforce it. We did. Because as soon as 8 to 8:30 came past, it got a little too dangerous on the streets. People were smoking crack. People were getting high. There were prostitutes. Now, I should mention that I was staying in the La Kendalia area, which is basically right next to the city center. And I forget, there's a name of an area where sex prostitutes and all that stuff is very common there. So part of my experience was the place, uninformed decision on where I decided to get my Airbnb. However, yeah, there was a 7:30, 8 o'clock curfew because of the safety reasons. I even went to other areas and I noticed very similar things that were across the city and nowhere near the area that I was in. So I gave it a 2 out of 10 overall. I would not want to be walking around drunk in Bogota at night. That sounds terrifying to me. And I'm usually I feel pretty safe in most places. So, yeah, there's that. Next up, comfort, 5 out of 10. So comfort would be things like accessibility to getting my hair cut, massages, just creature comforts, things that you might want in your everyday given life and how easily accessible they are. There were lots of salons and places to get massages and stuff. The only reason I didn't give it a higher number was, first of all, the few places that I went, they weren't that great. They, like the place that did my beard, they gave me some razor burn. I know that's a bit picky, but stuff like that. I knocked it down a few numbers as well. And another thing was the places where I might have gone to get massages or stuff, they were a bit sketchy. It was a bit scary. So I didn't feel super comfortable in my overall daily experience of doing these things just because I was a little bit afraid for my safety when I was around. And that's saying something because usually I'm not that way. There was a massage place that I went to that was in the north of the city that was like a super high-end spa, I guess, for the area. I felt pretty safe there, but as soon as I walked out and went around the corner, again, I felt uncomfortable, which the tension that they worked out on my shoulders came right back as soon as I got around the corner. So last but not least, the cost. The cost, I gave it a 6 out of 10. 10 being the least expensive, 1 being the most expensive. New York City, I put it probably around the 1 area, maybe Dubai, 1 area. I haven't been to Dubai, I don't even know why I brought it up. So anyway, I found that a lot of the cost of things were relatively low, like taking taxis and stuff like that I found to be rather cheap. The staying and the cost of renting Airbnbs was also around $20 a night, which might sound like a lot, but if you have spent any time in the US, it is not a lot. They want like $200 a night. So yeah, I found it to be relatively cheap. The cost of food, the cost of getting around, everything in general was pretty cheap, and I'm pretty excited about it. So let me get a drum roll, please, a spasm, please. Overall, for Bogota in general, I gave it a 4 out of 10. So literally how I got the 4 out of 10 overall is I took each category, added up the numbers before 10, and divided them. You wanted high, not low, so 4 out of 10 is not great. Would I recommend going to Bogota? If it's on your bucket list, yes. If you've never heard of it before and never thought about it and you don't speak Spanish, no, I wouldn't recommend going. You'd be much better off coming to a place like Peru, or going to Spain or Europe, or even visiting New York City for that matter. I just didn't find it a great tourism spot. I've heard great things about Medellin and other places around Colombia, but Bogota specifically, I'd steer clear of, especially as a solo woman traveler. I would not go there and spend time at night at least. If you're gonna go, you're passing through, get to your hostel early at night, come out like after like 6-7 a.m. in the morning if earliest, unless you're having someone pick you up and take you to a tour group. It's just, as a man, I felt uncomfortable. I could not imagine how I'd feel as a solo woman there. I can't even imagine. So maybe if you go, try to find groups of people who are similar minded doing the same things, but overall, not great. I'd say it's one of the worst places that I visited in my time of being a traveler. Yeah, it was not worth going at all. Honestly, I'm surprised it ranked this high. I think the cost and the sightseeing really saved it. With the asterisks next to the sightseeing, it probably should have been lower. Anyway, if you guys are thinking about going to Bogota, don't, unless it's on your bucket list. And be careful, do your research, pick out the things that you want to do. And if you don't want to see churches, good luck. Otherwise, if you want to see my other ratings, I live in Peru currently. If you want to see that as well, you can subscribe to me. And if you like this video and want to see something that YouTube knows is perfect for you, right up here is a video that YouTube is serving to you on a silver platter that it thinks is best for you. Otherwise, I will see you soon.